It is the Monsignor Martin semifinals here on Western New York Athletics as the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers will face off against the St. Francis Red Raiders. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth here at Coyer Field on the campus of beautiful Buffalo State University. I'm Tanner Saunders. I'll be your play-by-play man. Pleased to be joined on color by Joe Kraus. And Joe, I want to start off with you because you've seen the St. Francis team much more recently than I have. They have not lost a game since the last time I saw them play, which was when they hosted the Catholic Memorial Knights of West Roxbury, Massachusetts in Week 3. That was a 56-32 loss. But since then, they have won 6 straight. And Joe, you are only 2 weeks removed from seeing them play against Canisius, a 29-14 win for them. So fill us in here on this Red Raider team, what we can expect. Obviously, we're probably going to be saying the names Tyrone Clark Jr. and Trent Buttles a whole lot today.
Well, first of all, it's excited to be with you today. It's a big day in the Monsignor Martin. And yes, you said St. Francis winners of 6 straight, the big one against their rival 2 weeks ago, 29-14 under the lights at Ethel Springs. And Trent Buttles had a big day, a 75-yard touchdown return that really set the tone for the Red Raiders. And then Tyrone Clark Jr. went from there. He picked it up from there, 227 yards, 3 touchdown scores, 32 carries. He is expected to get the load the rest of the way as, unfortunately, his partner in crime, Dominic Cook Jr., out for the rest of the year with a torn ACL. But St. Francis, with that running attack, it's going to be interesting how Bishop Timon can counter. The Tigers do have some pressure up front. 2 guys combined here for 6.5 sacks on the season with Christian Fulgham and Jaleel Davis. But Bishop Timon, it's going to be interesting, Tanner, how St. Francis, how they will try to set it early again with this running attack.
And for this Bishop Timon team, they come into this game 2-6. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They're 1-4 in their last 5, including a loss to St. Francis in that span. And that game, taking a look at that game, it was a wild one the last time that these two teams met up. Amari Worthy returned the opening kickoff in that game for a touchdown to give Timon the lead. They get the ball back on an onside kick, make it 13-0. Get the ball back again on another onside kick, turn it into 6 more, and then open the second quarter with a field goal. So they led 23-0 early in that game. But then Dominic Cook Jr. gets a touchdown to make it 23-8. The Red Raiders, they take a goal line stop and turn it into a Trent Buttles 85-yard rushing touchdown to make it 23-16 with a 2-point conversion. Tyrone Clark gets a rushing touchdown, and Evan Necker gets a 2-point conversion. Red Raiders take a 24-23 lead. Mason Anderson catches a Hail Mary at the end of the half to make it 31-23. Tyrone Clark makes it 38-23 coming out of half. And then finally, after allowing 38 unanswered, Timon was able to turn an interception into 6 points to make it 38-29. As the kickoff here, it's an onside kick, and now Timon is able to recover, and the player who recovers gets driven back to the 30-yard line. So that's where we will see this Timon offense out on the field for the first time. But going back to that game, I mentioned Timon was able to cut it to 38-29, but then Tyrone Clark takes a kickoff back for a touchdown, make it 45-29. Javante Solomon gets one back for Bishop Timon to make it 45-35. Then St. Francis would add 2 more touchdowns on for insurance, courtesies of Larry Hardy and Tyrone Clark to seal the 59-35 victory. But Timon looking to flip the script on that here today. Here is this offense led by the young quarterback, Marquise Harris, the sophomore. And they're going to come out 4 wide, 1 in the backfield here on first down, the snap. There goes the give on first down, and Javante Solomon is wrapped up and dropped for a loss there on first down.
Javante Solomon, one of the top backs for the Tigers, 461 yards, 2 touchdowns so far on the season. And that time, St. Francis, they have been really strong in the running department, stopping the run all season. And right there, short gain here. It's second down coming up.
On the season, this Timon offense has scored 147 points through 8 games. That comes out to 18.4 points per game. The good news for them is they actually scored a season high 35 the last time these two teams played on October 17th. The problem, though, as I mentioned, was they allowed 59. Here's the fake, and now Harris with a pitch to Javante Solomon, and again he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield, back to the 30-yard line. Again, Larry Hardy has been in on both of those plays, so back-to-back TFLs to open the game for this Red Raider defense sets up a 3rd down and long.
And Larry Hardy, one of the top tacklers for St. Francis, one of the best in Western New York, a team-high 67 tackles coming into today and 1.5 sacks. And an interesting note, with talking with Bishop Timon head coach Matt Weiser, Tanner, he said it's going to come down once again to the basics of the blocking and the tackling. And so far, 2 plays, St. Francis has the advantage.
3rd down and long. Here's Marquise Harris in the shotgun. He's going to throw it out to Christian Fulgham, and now Fulgham able to split through a couple defenders and gets hammered down at the 38-yard line. So he'll get all the lost yardage back there from the first 2 plays, but not much further than that. Brings up 4th down, and you can see the platoon swap happening here. They're going to punt.
Hey, Christian Fulgham, he has had an outstanding season for the Tigers, making his 33rd catch of the season right there. Also a team-high 6 touchdowns. That's going to be something here early on, Tanner, that the Tigers are going to have to establish early against this tough St. Francis defense. Get Fulgham to the outside and let him do what he has done best, find the open space and get some speed on the outside.
And now the whistle has been blown here. Play stopped for the moment as the officials are going to get together and conference here. Looks like a penalty going against the Red Raiders here. That's the first penalty of the day against either team. So the ball will be moved up to the 44-yard line now, and the offense is going to come back out on the field. So you'd like to see the aggressiveness early here from head coach Matt Weiser. It's going to be about 4th down and 3 here. Just shy of midfield. They're going to try and keep this possession alive. And they got movement up front. And that is going to be enough for a Timon 1st down by way of penalty. Marquise Harris got him with the hard count.
David McGreer, the sophomore defensive lineman, just jumped that hard count. That's been one of the specialties for Marquise Harris, who has grown week to week. Only a sophomore at the quarterback spot. The Tigers have had some movement at the quarterback position as their starter, Dominic Anzalone, unfortunately for a 2nd straight year, tore his ACL on the first snap back in week 1, and it has been Marquise's show ever since.
Here's the snap. It's a direct snap to Christian Fulgham. He's going to keep it himself, and he gets dropped for a loss. And then a flag came in late. So we'll check that, but for this Timon offense now, all 3 of the run plays have gone for negative yardage, and to boot, the penalty is going to be against them. So that'll back him up here for this 1st down play once again, and I had the chance to speak with Coach Matt Weiser down on the field before the game, and he said they have to clean up the mistakes in this one. That was something they didn't do a good job of in the first meeting. He pointed to the fact that they had 4 red zone trips in that game and had 0 points to show for it. So he said he wanted to see his team cut down on the mistakes, and right now they are playing from considerably behind the sticks here. Although it is 1st down, so plenty of time to dig themselves out of this self-induced hole here as there's a handoff, and there was a hole there up the middle, but it was closed quickly there by that Red Raider defense. Short gain on 1st down for Javante Solomon, the senior tailback.
And it looked like it was Loren Thompson on the tackle first for St. Francis. Going to be about a 2-yard gain. Long way to go for that 1st down marker, Tanner. The Tigers, well, the running game has been successful all season. When you get those 5-6 yards, things go pretty well historically in the game of football, and that's what the Tigers have to do here.
2nd down and long. Harris in the shotgun. Man in motion. Here's the snap. Harris going to drop back. Now he's going to roll to his right, sets his feet, now takes off again. And Marquise Harris is going to turn this into a positive gain. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage right around midfield. Brings up third down. But there's the athleticism on display there from Marquise Harris. And that's one thing Coach Matt Weiser said about him when I spoke to him down on the field pregame, is that he's a good athlete. Plays basketball in addition to football, and there he showed off the athleticism.
Yeah, Marquise Harris capable of making the throws, but when he finds the open space, he's not afraid to get to the outside and have that speed, and that's what Bishop Timon is going to have more of here today, Tanner, of finding the open spaces and hitting the speed boosts and finding the open space.
Third down and long. Harris in the shotgun, takes the snap. Now again he's going to roll to his right, sets his feet. Now he's going to double back left. Harris going the wrong way, but still keeping this play alive, and now he will just throw this one toward his own sideline, and that'll bring up fourth down. Valiant effort there from Harris to try and keep that play alive as long as he could, but good on him not forcing anything there and just keeping the ball out of harm's way.
And Tavio Hughes, number 22, was one of the first defenders to pressure Harris on that drive. Hughes coming in a transfer, tied for the team high of 2 sacks, and now it's going to be Bishop Timon lining up for a punt once again. But, of course, the first time it resulted in a St. Francis penalty, and the opening drive stayed alive.
Josh Galligan, the punter for Bishop Timon St. Jude, gets this one away. It's going to be fielded at around the 21-22 yard line. Now the run back coming near side, and eventually the return man is swarmed and taken down there. That is Aiden Hopwood on the return. So now out comes the St. Francis Red Raider offense, an offense that is averaging 38.6 points per game through their 9 games this season. They're on pace with that scoring number to be the most points they've scored since the 2019-20 season, where they averaged 39.5 points per game over the 10-game season. They've scored over 30 in 7 of their 9 games this year, including 4 times over 40 and once over 50 when they dropped a season-high 59 against their opponents here today, the Tigers.
St. Francis, once again, with their longtime coach, Jerry Smith, on the sideline. He's been at the helm of the program since 1988. Started as an assistant under the late Ray Carney in 1981, and what a job he has done. 202 wins to his name.
There's an option, and the handoff goes to Tyrone Clark Jr., and he fights forward to about the 30-yard line. Boy, Buttles held onto that ball for as long as he could there. He was thinking about pulling that one, but ultimately hands to Clark, who's going to be shouldering the majority of the load here for the St. Francis run game. Not that he can't do that. I mean, he only had 227 yards the last time they played a football game against Canisius, so he's more than capable, but without his running mate Dominic Cook Jr. for this game and the rest of the season as he deals with an ACL injury. Buttles keeps it himself and goes hurtling over the defense just shy of the first down marker. It'll be third down and short as we see the dual threat ability there of Trent Buttles for the first time today.
It's really interesting with St. Francis, this 3-headed monster all season. We mentioned about Dominic Cook. He is injured, but he was averaging 7.6 yards per carry. Tyrone Clark Jr. also averaging 7.6 yards per carry. And then the quarterback, Trent Buttles, averaging 8.3 yards per carry. And the trio just coming up with 30 rushing touchdowns combined. It's been an interesting season, a great season if you're a Red Raider fan.
I thought Buttles had been short there, but they do give him the first down. And now on the ensuing first down play, the handoff goes to Clark Jr., and he falls forward for a gain of about 2. Clark Jr., as I mentioned last week, had 32 carries, 227 yards, a 75-yard long, which was his longest run of the season, 3 touchdowns, also had a TFL and a pass defense on defense. And now Buttles to the air for the first time today. That one is bobbled and caught. It'll be a short gain over on the far side of the field as the catch is made by Matthew Zielinski.
Matthew Zielinski, the senior wide receiver, he's been one of the top players that Trent Buttles has relied upon. Getting a good catch there in the slot to keep this drive going.
First third down of the day for the Red Raiders. Here's the snap. Buttles, short drop, now looking. He rifles this one to the far side of the field. It is caught, and that's going to be good for a first down to midfield for the Red Raiders as the reception is made by Evan.
Once again, another senior getting a big catch, and Buttles just that quick timing, 3-step drop, and fires to the outside, and the chains keep moving here, Tanner, early on for St. Francis.
Indeed, that's their second first down of the drive. And the ball spotted right at the 50-yard line. Here's the snap. Buttles going to keep it himself, and this time the defense right on him. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but not much else to be done on that play, as the tackle made by the senior Mike Williams for Bishop Timon. He was one of a few Tigers in there. Second down and 10 from the 50-yard line. Again, Buttles in the shotgun, 2-by-2 set. Clark is the back. Here's the snap. Buttles under pressure. He rolls away from it, and now he's going to tuck it and keep it himself. Here goes Trent Buttles up past the 40. Now ducks out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. Joe, it looked like they were trying to set a screen there. Pressure came in immediately, but Buttles able to evade and turn nothing into something there.
And that is why Trent Buttles has just been so lethal in the running attack. He's a quarterback, but he has the size of a running back, as you saw the replay, just able to come in and make some big plays, as he's listed at 6 foot.
Now Buttles to the air. That one is caught by Aiden. No, it's incomplete. Aiden Hopwood could not make the grab there.
Good look on the outside, Tanner, on that pass play, and that's another element of why Trent Buttles has been so lethal for St. Francis. A transfer from Aquinas out of Rochester, and now his first year at St. Francis. He can run the ball. He can get you with his legs. He can get you through the air. It was a good pass to the outside, tight coverage, and now second down coming up.
Julius Afrifa Irving was in there to get the pass break up, and now he and the rest of his Tiger teammates are going to head over to the sideline here as play is stopped for the moment, as Trent Buttles leading this St. Francis offense on their opening drive. And I had the chance to speak with the head man for St. Francis, Jerry Smith, down on the field before the game, and I asked him about Trent because there's an interesting parallel between those two. Trent Buttles, he does a little bit on both sides of the ball. He's the quarterback safety hybrid, much like Jerry Smith was back in the day at Bishop Turner. So I asked Jerry, I said, you know, does Trent remind you a little bit of yourself? Do you see a little bit of yourself in Trent? And his immediate reply was, well, Trent's a hell of a lot better than I was. But in all seriousness, he did not have enough nice things to say about Trent Buttles. Said he's any college coach's dream. He consumes all levels of football. He's eager to always learn and get better. And you're seeing the fruits of his labor here, not only this game, but throughout the entire season. Here's a short drop. Buttles now steps up in the pocket, looking to escape. He's going to roll to his left. He throws, and it is caught along the far sideline. Necker, and then his forward progress is stopped. We'll see where they spot it. It's going to be third down upcoming.
Second catch of the day here for Necker, a short pass to the outside. Bishop Timon, the secondary, looking to get some help here. Antoine Wellington Jr. back in the backfield here for Timon, and now it's going to be an interesting third and short here, Tanner.
Buttles pulls it out, and he's going to throw near side, caught by Hopwood, makes one miss, still on his feet, showing off the elusiveness there, and it's going to be close. And they spot this ball at the 27, so he's a yard short of the line to gain. But they're going to keep this offense out on the field here, as Hopwood, who made the last catch, goes into the slot. And now Buttles looking over to the sideline for some instructions here. 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end. They will give it to Clark. He's going to bounce this one outside. He's got the first down inside the 20-yard line. So first drive, first red zone trip of the day for the Red Raiders.
And once again on that QB option. It looked to be a little delayed. Bottles waited for the last second and then handed it off to Clark, who got some movement here. Another good run for St. Francis, trying to capitalize here first.
Buttles remains in the shotgun here on first down. Another off-tackle run to Clark. And Clark looking for a cutback lane. Doesn't have anything there, as a number of Tigers converted on him. Christian Fulgham was in there, among others. No gain on the play. Second down.
Christian Fulgham closing in on 30 tackles this season for Bishop Timon. And it's still the team lead of Wesley Miller, the middle linebacker, on your screen, number 22.
Here's Buttles. He's going to roll to his right. Now being chased from behind, is able to angle toward the sideline, tucks it, and gets inside the 15. So a short gain, about a 2-yard scramble there, brings up third down for the Red Raiders.
This time, Bishop Timon able to control the width of the field and cause just a short gain there for Buttles. Now another big third down coming up for St. Francis, all the way at the 15.
Four receivers, 2 on each side of the formation. Here's the snap. Buttles, 3-step drop. Now he fires. It is caught on the near side. Mason Anderson. And nice job there, wrapping him up by the ankles till a teammate could come and finish him off. Marquise Harris was able to hang on for dear life and allow some of his friends to rally to the football there, but that's going to make it goal to go for the Red Raiders.
And Mason Anderson finally getting his first catch here today. A team-high 9 touchdowns. He has been incredible in his first year with St. Francis.
Under center now is Buttles. Hand off to Clark, and Clark falling ahead, and touchdown. A 6-yard scamper there for Tyrone Clark Jr., and that puts the Red Raiders on the high side here, 6-0.
And that was a nearly perfect drive for St. Francis. Some running plays, some passes to the outside, quick throws from Trent Buttles, and it caps it off here with Tyrone Clark, his 14th rushing score of the season.
And now they will bring out Janice here for the PAT. And Buttles the holder. Here's the snap. Kick is up, and it is good. So first drive, first points of the day for the Red Raiders. Tyrone Clark punches it in, and they are up 7-0 here, which is a far cry from the first time these two teams met, where they didn't put their first points up on the board until Timon already had 23. So already a much better start here for the Red Raiders than was the case in the regular season meeting between the two teams. And we will step aside here. When we come back, we'll see how the Timon offense can respond here on Western New York Athletics. Welcome back here to Coyer Field here on the campus of Buffalo State University. If you're just joining us, fast-moving first quarter, only 1:25 left here in this first quarter. Each team has possessed the ball one time now.
Bishop Timon with the football first, just couldn't capitalize, had to punt, and then St. Francis went all the way down the field for that big touchdown.
And now that could have been disastrous there, but it's fallen on by Timon as they had trouble fielding the kick, but are able to fall on it no less. So they maintain possession here for their second drive of the game. And a pretty decent starting field position here as they try to answer the score just put up by the Red Raiders.
Getting a chance to talk with Matt Weiser, the Bishop Timon head coach, and he said the regular season meeting, they jumped out to the 23-0 start. He said kudos to St. Francis for bouncing back. It was a fight from both teams, and Now here today, the Tigers have to capitalize early, only trailing by 7.
Christian Fulgham goes in motion on first down. Here's a handoff, Javante Solomon, and he finds a crease up toward the 50 where he is taken down by Trent Buttles, but not before he picks up a Bishop Timon St. Jude first down.
And that's a really big run from Solomon. Gets some help from the left side of his offensive line. Nathan Swally, the left tackle, giving Solomon the open boost. And that is what the Tigers need to develop here today. Those big runs, get the offensive lineman to create that space and let them win the battle here in the trenches.
Javante Solomon had 123 yards rushing in the last meeting between these two teams. You wouldn't think that would be the case if you watched the first drive and you saw them go backwards on 3 running plays, but now starting to get things figured out here. Marquise Harris keeps it himself on the option, and he'll duck ahead for about a gain of 3 or 4. I asked Coach Matt Weiser about the regular season meeting between these two teams as well when I spoke to him down on the field before the game. And he said he thought they did a good job of executing the game plan they had going in. Said it's always fun, you know, when you install the game plan, and then to see the kids actually execute is another thing. But again, he said they have to cut down on the mistakes. Man in motion, it's Delonte Owens. Now Harris, the give to Javante Solomon, and Solomon going to squeeze forward up past the 45-yard line down about the 44. So it'll be 3rd down and 5. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. Time to make the switch to the second here in the Monsignor Martin semifinals between the Tigers and the Red Raiders here on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back to Courier Field here on the campus of Buffalo State University for this Monsignor Martin semifinal matchup here between the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers and the St. Francis Red Raiders. Right now, this the second possession of the game here for the Tigers, and Marquise Harris is going to hand it off to Javante Solomon, but that time he is met and dropped. Looks like a short loss there. LaRafis Green, as you mentioned, in there on the stop, as well as Larry Hardy.
Yeah, well, Rafus Green just the first off the tackle here, a 5'8", 190-pound linebacker from Buffalo, New York, able to make the big hit, and now it's going to bring up 4th and short for Bishop Timon.
And they're going to keep the offense out on the field here. They did go for it on 4th down once on their first possession, and they were able to pick it up by way of penalty. Fulgham in motion. Here's the snap. Harris looking to throw. He takes a couple steps to his left, throws, and it is caught for the first down. Delonte Owens. Bit of a wobbler there, but Owens makes the catch no less, and they keep the drive alive.
Take a look on your screen as the ball goes to the outside. Really tight coverage here from the Frannies. Jeremy comes on the outside, and Owens makes the grab and keeps this drive going here for Bishop Timon.
So 1st down and 10. They have it at the Red Raider 36-yard line. Looks like 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, 1 back. Little orbit motion there. Now they pitch it to the motion man, and he tries to cut it up the field, but the St. Francis defense all over it. Luke Fleischman there on the stop.
Yeah, Luke Fleischman, he has received some looks early on in his career from Division I and Division II schools, able to make that one-on-one tackle, a big play for the St. Francis defense.
Short loss on the play for Julius Afrifa Irving. Looked like earlier in the game he might have gotten shaken up while out there on defense, getting a pass breakup, and now he heads over to the sideline once again. And coming in for him is Amari Worthy, who, as I mentioned earlier, had a kickoff return for a touchdown in the last meeting between these two teams. Returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Now they go with a bunch set here to the near side. Handoff up the middle. Javante Solomon, and he's still going. Javante Solomon powers forward, and it looks like he's got another first down.
And Solomon able to move past 3 St. Francis defenders as he goes by. Red Raiders had 3 around him, and Solomon slips his way through, and another big run here coming from the veteran Solomon coming in today, averaging just 4.2 yards per carry, but he had a lot more than that in that last run.
No doubt about it, and now Timon starting to get things going here with the run game. Their start in this game on that front didn't go very well. Started off rather ingloriously with the few TFLs on their first few run plays, but now starting to get downhill and make some big plays. Now they're going to pitch it to the edge. Javante Solomon made one-man miss in the backfield and then is able to turn it upfield for a short gain. Flag is down in the offensive backfield. The man that got the initial penetration for the Red Raiders was Lauren Thompson. Big number 56 on the D-line as the penalty is assessed to the Tigers.
So this will come back here, Tanner, for Bishop Timon. They're starting to find some rhythm in the running game especially. But these penalties, as Coach Weiser told us, Bishop Timon can't afford to have them here today.
It's always tough when you set yourself behind the sticks and then have to dig yourself out of it here. They're back at the Red Raider 35-yard line. Shotgun for Harris, 2-back set. And Delonte Owens goes in motion to the far side of the formation. Here's the give. Javante Solomon gets to the edge, and Javante Solomon gets taken down at the 25-yard line by Trent Buttles. So a good run there from Javante Solomon. He gets him back to the original line of scrimmage.
Another big run from Solomon, and Trent Buttles finally able to bring him down. Buttles, a two-way player here for St. Francis, as you talked about early on, Tanner. But another big play, and now second down coming up.
And again, they come with a bunch set near side. Harris in the shotgun. Owens motions next to him in the backfield. Here's the snap, the give. Javante Solomon going to initiate some contact there. Z runs through LaRafis Green, who does end up making the tackle, but Solomon gets down to, they spot him down at the 21-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Bishop Timon offensive line doing a solid job so far, giving the open lanes for Solomon to work with. Nathan Swally at left tackle, Aaron Bobo left guard, Anthony Copeland Jr. at right tackle, Mason Conrad at right guard. In the center, the junior Aiden Friend, all 5 working together here and eating up a lot of time on the clock here in the second quarter too.
And now Christian Fulgham comes in as the Wildcat quarterback for this 3rd down and 6. Direct snap to Fulgham. He's going to try to get to the edge, but there is no room to roam there as Noah Violante makes the stop. It's going to make it 4th down, and now Timon showing here an area that they need to improve as this game goes on, and that's 3rd down. Now 0 for 4 on 3rd down.
Noah Violante just able to beat his man at the line of scrimmage, able to make a big tackle from the linebacker spot. Coming in listed, the middle linebacker, 5'3", 180 pounds from Lackawanna, New York. And this is a big play here, Tanner, 4th and long.
Big play early in this game, no doubt, Joe. Here goes Fulgham in motion. Now Harris is going to scramble out to his left, and Harris going to tuck it and run. Can he get to the marker? He extends, and we'll see where they spot it. Looks like he got it. So a big scramble there on 4th down by Marquise Harris, and he moves the sticks. I just mentioned 0 for 4 on 3rd down for Timon, but I guess it doesn't matter when you're perfect on 4th down. That's 3 for 3 now.
And Harris able to just roll out, find the open space on the outside, just keeping those wheels going, keeping the stride going for the Tigers now inside the red zone. This is a big play coming up.
First red zone trip here today for the Tigers. They come out 4 wide. Harris in the shotgun. Solomon is going to motion out of the backfield now. They're going to throw it to Solomon. That is incomplete. Harris had the right idea there. He's trying to lead him up the field, but just led him a little too far that time. And there's a flag down as well, right around the 10-yard line. And it is against the offense.
Looks to me the call was a chop block against the Bishop Timon lineman. And this will move the Tigers back. These types of games, Tanner, a lot we have seen over the years, these postseason games, a lot of emotions, especially after how the first meeting went between these two teams. But it comes down to staying poised, especially on these drives like these. You have to keep your composure.
It's funny you mention that, because when I was talking to Jerry Smith down on the field before the game, he mentioned that specifically. You can't give a team like this that emotional edge like they gave him in the first game. Coach Smith said coming into this game, first and foremost, they had to be better at fielding onside kicks. But outside of that, he said they had to come ready to play. And like I said, you can't give a team like Timon here any juice emotionally in that regard. So be big for his squad if they could get a stop here. Meanwhile, for Timon, this is now multiple times we've seen where they've gotten themselves behind the sticks with penalties. And granted, they've been able to get themselves out of it more often than not, but you just can't consistently get behind the sticks and expect good things to happen. Here goes Delonte Owens. He motions into the backfield for this 1st down and long. Harris, handoff Javante Solomon, and he is bottled up at the line of scrimmage. As the clock continues to roll, about 5.5 minutes left here in the first half. It's been a very fast-moving first half. Not a lot of penalties, a lot of run plays, has kept that clock moving.
Only 3 drives so far offensively. This is the Tigers' 2nd drive.
And they are currently faced with 2nd down and long here from the Red Raider 30-yard line. Bunch near side. Fulgham isolated out to the far side. A free for Irving goes in motion. Here's the snap. Harris. Handoff. Javante Solomon. And again, he's going to be bottled up right around the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 3rd down and very long here upcoming.
Good pressure on the defensive line. Joshua Egby, number 70, right there, able to clog up the hole that Bishop Timon was trying to create for its back. And when you have a guy like Joshua Egby, 5'10", 240 pounds on your defensive line, it's going to be a challenge to try to stop him on every single play.
As I mentioned, 3rd down and very long here, about 3rd down and 25 for the Tiger offense. Harris has not had to take to the air too much today. They might need a big chunk through the pass game here, as looks like the play clock winding down. So Coach Matt Weiser calls a timeout there to prevent any more yardage from being lost there and not putting themselves any further behind the sticks. And talking about Coach Matt Weiser, this is a guy that was a 3-sport athlete in high school. He had a great career with the UB Bulls. as a tight end. He was named a College Sports Information Directors of America, which is now called the College Sports Communicators Academic All-American. He was the first player in UB's FBS era to receive that honor. He was a first-team All-MAC tight end and the first tight end in program history to earn that honor. He actually set the program record for receptions in a single season by a tight end with 63 in 2015. That number is still tied for the 9th most receptions in a season by any UB player, including being tied with a guy named Naaman Roosevelt, who is only the program's all-time leading receiver. And to this day, Coach Weiser has the 4th most career receptions with 92 among UB tight ends. The only players ahead of him are Mason Schreck with 107, Chad Bartosik with 95, and Chad Upshaw with 94. And as far as his time at Timon, he was the defensive coordinator for 4 years under former head coach Joe Licata, and then was named the head football coach in the summer of 2021. Here's the 4th down play. Marquise Harris going to roll to his right. He throws. It is caught. Christian Fulgham, and he's got a ways to go and a lot of players to run through, and he will not get there. Gets down to the 20-yard line. Didn't even make it back to the original line of scrimmage. So that's the first unsuccessful 4th down attempt here
that was third.
Oh, that was 3rd down. My bad. I got lost in the sauce there. So still, they are 0 for on 3rd down. And now it looks like they are going to send the field goal unit in here. And with Josh Galligan to try and get some points on the board. Believe this is a 37-yard attempt here for Galligan. Harris to hold, snap down, kick is up, and it's no good. So Timon, their most sustained offensive possession of the day, still nets them nothing there as Galligan unable to hit the field goal. The score remains 7-0 with 3 minutes left in the half.
Bishop Timon with a good drive and trying to get some points here from its kicker. Galligan only a sophomore, and our score still remains 7-0. But you made a good point a moment ago, Tanner, about Matt Weiser, and he talked to both of us about his time as a UB Bull and playing for head coach Jeff Quinn and just everything. He says he was so grateful, so blessed to be part of the UB Bulls program, and so many memories. He was a part of those teams with Joe Licata and Khalil Mack and the linebacker core, so many. And he just said the best part about playing was being in the locker room and just being around your boys, being around the guys all the time, and just making memories in that locker room day in and day out.
Tyrone Clark gets sprung for a big run there as he gets up to the 40-yard line and a Red Raider 1st down.
Clark able to find some speed to the outside. That has been his strength all season. Once he finds that open space, able to pop out, look out.
1st down, they say at the 39-yard line. Buttles gets under center, and again, he's going to pitch it to Clark. Here goes Clark, and he gets taken down at the 44-yard line. It's a gain of 5.
Another big run from Clark, former Connolly Cup finalist last year with the Lackawanna Steelers. Transfers over to Ethel Springs and just brings some nice size, 5'10", 205 pounds, and he gets another big run, gain of 5.
Ran for over 2,000 yards last year at Lackawanna. Here's the shotgun snap for Buttles. He's going to hand it off to Clark Jr., and he's still going. Here goes Tyrone Clark, and he gets into Timon territory and picks up another 1st down.
Well, Clark that time on the last run as we take a look at the replay, getting some help on the left side of his offensive line, getting some help from everyone, including number 68, Brooks Fuller, just keeping the chains moving here.
Now 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end. Buttles, play fake. He drops back. Now he evades and is able to scramble left. Fires down the field. It's caught. Aiden Hopwood on some magicianship there by Trent Buttles.
Look at this live improvisation. He fires a deep one and able to connect with his receiver, just rolling out this quick movement with the hips, and Buttles able to keep this drive going.
Joe, you mentioned earlier that, you know, he's a quarterback, but he's got the size of a running back, and he certainly has the agility of one as well. It's not many guys you see there at the quarterback position to have that ability to just stop on a dime, make people miss like that, but he is able to do just that. He is quite the improviser, is Trent Buttles.
Yeah, that's what he has done all season. As you take a look again, just really just able to provide what St. Francis needed in the quarterback, just that improvisation here, and that last play, Tam, was just one of many examples we have seen.
Yep.
He can run the ball, he can throw the ball, he can do pretty much everything with the football, and just able to extend drives. That's why he has been in high regard all season as one of the best quarterbacks in Western New York.
I mean, this is a guy that's just stepped into Western New York this season like he owns the place. He transferred here from Rochester's Aquinas Institute. He was the starting quarterback there during his freshman and sophomore years. He was first-team All-Greater Rochester as a quarterback last year, as well as an All-State safety. Here's the pitch. Far side Clark Jr. Now he puts his foot in the ground, tries to cut it upfield, and he's still going. Now finally wrestled down there after a decent pickup on first down.
And one of the questions that Jerry Smith told us earlier in the season was with the offense, not just Buttles, but so many different pieces, was how is everyone going to get comfortable with each other, and how quickly? How could everybody get on the same page? And it happened pretty quickly, and now here we are in Week 10 with St. Francis knocking on the door for another score.
Second down, Buttles, three-step drop. Now he steps up in the pocket, and he gets taken down by Fulgham. The ball came out. St. Francis saying they have it, because why would they not say that? But we'll wait and see what the officials have to say. Still nothing. And it looks like the Red Raiders were able to recover, so after much deliberation, it's going to be third down as Coach Weiser is exasperated there on the near sideline, trying to plead to the officials. And now a flag comes in. And the penalty's going against the defense. Believe the taunt was a call, or was the call, I should say. As now the officials still working through this here. They're going to head over to the Timon sideline and talk things over there with Coach Weiser. And while they do that, we'll let you know who our officiating crew is. Head referee Kenny Harris, umpire Mike Courtney, linesman Jeff Murphy, line judge Eric Danheiser, and back judge Chris Horvatis.
Veteran group of officials, including our referee, Kenny Harris. Also around the scene on the hardwood during the winter, Mike Courtney, a veteran official as well. But for Bishop Timon, like we said with both teams, in these types of games, you have to keep your composure. And that penalty now gets St. Francis even closer in a fresh set of downs, first and goal.
Fourth penalty on the day against the Tigers. It is goal to go. Here's Buttles, hands it off to Clark, and he will waltz into the end zone. Touchdown, Tyrone Clark, a 10-yard scamper, and that makes it 13-0 here with the PAT pending.
Well, Tyrone Clark once again showing some patience and popping right through the right side of his offensive line, getting some help there. And St. Francis able to now extend its lead to 2 scores.
So 2 possessions, 2 Tyrone Clark Jr. touchdowns here from 6 and 10 yards respectively to make the score 13-0. And now Janice will try to tack on one more here with 52 ticks left in the first half. Snap, spot kick on the way. And it is good. 52 seconds left in the first half. It's 14-0. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can link me later.
WNY Athletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Welcome back here to Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University. 52 seconds left in the first half here of this Monsignor Martin semifinal matchup between the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers and the St. Francis Red Raiders. St. Francis has just increased their lead to 14-0, courtesy of Tyrone Clark. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns today and has his team on the high side here. They're going to try an onside. It's going to be fielded at the 50-yard line. So with 51 seconds here and 1 timeout, a chance to make something happen here for Timon heading into the locker room.
Well, Bishop Timon on its last drive, they went for a field goal attempt of roughly 30 yards. And before those late penalties on that drive, Bishop Timon was moving the football. Javante Solomon had a couple of big runs. Marquise Harris got to the outside. Let's see if the Tigers can get back to that rhythm here and get some points before the halftime break. Only 52 seconds left.
So first down and 10 from the 50. Here's Harris in the shotgun, drifting back. Now he's going to roll and throws this one toward the sideline. It is incomplete and a flag down in the backfield. And it's going to be roughing the passer. So 3rd penalty of the day on the Red Raiders, and that will give the offense a much-needed boost there.
Tavio Hughes is being called for roughing the passer, Tanner, and a low hit. Ball went to the outside. St. Francis thought it was going to be a penalty against Bishop Timon as there wasn't a receiver, but again, in terms of protecting the players, protecting the quarterbacks, it was the right call, and this extends the drive here for the Tigers.
15-yard penalty, so that'll get him from the 50 to the 35, and it's first down and 10. Man in motion as Harris takes the snap. Short drop now. He fires this one over the middle, and it is caught inside the 30-yard line. Nice little dish over the middle there from Marquise Harris.
Yeah, Mari Worthy through the traffic, somehow able to make that scoop and keep this drive going, but Timon has to move here, running out of time.
Second down and short, 19 seconds left. They go bunch near side. Here is Harris looking, standing tall in the pocket, fires over the middle. That pass is caught by Delonte Owens. It'll be a first down, and then it looks like they will spend their final timeout with 10 seconds remaining.
Another good pass over the middle to Delonte Owens, his 2nd catch of the day. Able to give Bishop Timon 1 strike just over the middle. And now here come the Bishop Tigers. Tanner, ball going to be here at the 11, 12-yard line. You have enough time for 1, maybe 2 more attempts. Interesting to see what head coach Matt Weiser draws up here for his Tigers offense.
And obviously it goes without saying, but you can't have any negative plays. Obviously can't have any turnovers. Really don't want to take a sack here. Penalties. So, again, this goes back to the mistake aspect of the game and cutting those down. This is where situational football comes into play. You got to know with 10 seconds left, if you make a catch, you got to try your best to get out of bounds. And if you're the quarterback, you can't have any negative plays, sack, turnover, anything like that. This will be an interesting test in the maturation of a young quarterback. Obviously, you mentioned Marquise Harris, the sophomore, kind of got thrown to the wolves this year with the injury to Dom Anzalone. And I asked Coach Weiser about that on the field before the game. He said Dom has still been around the team despite the injury. He is here in attendance today. Unfortunate that he can't get to play, but he's been there and been able to help Marquise as far as making reads and diagnosing defenses and things of that nature. So Unfortunate that he can't play, but he has still been very involved with the team. First down and 10. Here's the snap. It's a little low. It's fielded by Harris. Now he fires this one toward the end zone. It is intercepted. Now the run back down the near sideline and pushed out of bounds there. So that is exactly what couldn't happen. It looks like there might be a flag down as well, so we'll check that. But looks like the defense able to hold here for the Red Raiders for the moment.
There are 2 flags on the field as Andre Avis had the interception. He had a big one 2 weeks ago against Canisius that started off that game with a bang. And this one here in the corner of the end zone, but there are 2 flags. Maybe these are offsetting penalties.
That's what it looked like on the initial indication. No, I believe the penalty was against Timon, and the penalty was declined. The offense is out there on the field for the Red Raiders.
So looks like instead, Tanner, the penalty was against the Frannies, and Timon's going to have another shot.
That is indeed the case there. So St. Francis, that's their 4th penalty of the half, and it's a big one as it's going to keep the offense out on the field for Bishop Timon St. Jude with 1 second left. And now this, certainly the biggest play of the game yet here for Bishop Timon St. Jude. Here's Harris looking to throw. He gets it to Fulgham on a screen, and he is not going to get there. Met by a wall of Red Raider defenders there, and he is driven back. So
Evan Greeno able to beat it to the outside right there, able to take down the Timon receiver, and that's how we conclude our first half, and everything going in St. Francis's way. The 2 rushing scores. Bishop Timon having 2 big opportunities, a field goal attempt that just didn't go through the uprights, and then the last drive, Evan Greeno with the stop at the buzzer.
And certainly that one could loom large here as this game winds on. So bend but don't break there for the Red Raider defense. They let them get down deep in the red zone, but no points to show for it. The Red Raiders preserve their 14-0 lead heading into the locker room. We'll take a timeout here, and when we come back, we'll recap that first half and get you set for the second here of this Monsignor Martin semifinal matchup between the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers and the St. Francis Red Raiders here on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals.
If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Wingnuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests, with custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can link me later.
WNYAthletics. Your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Level Media is a locally owned and operated, multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
We welcome you back inside the broadcast booth here at Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University for one of two Monsignor Martin semifinal matchups here today. The first one pits the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers against the St. Francis Red Raiders. It is 14-0 here at halftime. Timon trailing St. Francis on their only 2 possessions of the half. We're able to make good on both of them. The first one in the first quarter, Tyrone Clark capped that one off with a 6-yard rushing touchdown to make it 7-0. And then in the second quarter, Tyrone Clark again from 10 yards out had a rushing touchdown, and the PAT made it 14-0. And for Timon, they had some good opportunities. Were able to get it down deep into Francis territory, but for one reason or another, just unable to finish those drives. We saw right at the end of half here, they got down near the goal line, but were unable to punch that one in. They left 3 points on the board earlier in the half. So, Joe, all in all, if you're Bishop Timon, you have to feel somewhat good about how things went in that first half. They had some success with the run game. As I mentioned, they were able to get down deep in St. Francis territory. It just comes back to what I spoke with head coach Matt Weiser about down on the field. You have to find a way when you get it down deep in enemy territory to finish those drives off with points.
And Bishop Timon, they have had some success with the running game. Javante Solomon has had some good runs, but you just said it, Tanner, the field goal attempt that went wide right, and then at the buzzer right here, that late tackle from Evan Greeno of St. Francis able to prevent Christian Fulgham from trying to make his turn and go into the end zone. And Bishop Timon, they knew going into this game, they knew the adjustments they had to make. It's just coming down to those little things, the penalties, especially extending the drive on what was going to be a 3rd and long. It was a penalty, I believe the taunting penalty that's set up right before Tyrone Clark Jr. had his second touchdown. But besides that, it's a fresh half here. You still have a lot of game left to play. St. Francis on the other side, the running attack that we have seen all season has come back here once again. And really, that's been the tale of the tape here so far, Tanner. Bishop Timon, a couple of big drives that they just couldn't finish. St. Francis capitalizing on their opportunities in the red zone.
And then talking about Timon's defense, I thought they did a pretty good job in that first half. Obviously, they did get burned a couple times. Tyrone Clark had a couple big runs. Trent Buttles had a couple plays where he showed off his improvisational ability, and that's just bound to happen. When you have individual talents that are as great as Buttles and Clark are respectively, they're going to get theirs. But overall, I thought they did a good job of limiting the big plays in that first half for St. Francis. I mean, you look at the last meeting between these two teams, Trent Buttles had an 85-yard touchdown run. Tyrone Clark overall had 14 carries, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he had an 80-yard kick return touchdown to boot. But I thought they did a pretty good job of holding those two in check for being as good of playmakers as they are.
And really, it's been for Bishop Timon all season with Fulgham 3.5 sacks, Davis with 3, just trying to get some pressure going. And Bishop Timon definitely has the bodies. They have the size to counter with what St. Francis has been able to provide up front with their offensive line. But you said it, a couple big plays in the linebacker core from Bishop Timon. The secondary, Wellington, had a huge tackle on the outside early on in the first quarter. And let's see what type of wrinkles Bishop Timon, its defense, has here to try and stop the run in the second half.
We'll see the adjustments that both teams make here. When we come back, we will be even closer to getting this second half underway. Still a little bit of time for these teams to get final instructions from their respective coaches. So we'll step aside here, and when we come back, we will have second half action on tap here in the Monsignor Martin semifinals between the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers and the St. Francis Red Raiders here on Western New York Athletics.
Way nuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnets locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests. With custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNYAthletics. Your home for high school sports.
Yes.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication. We will get you back on your feet, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals, case managers. At Richmond Vona, if you call us quickly after your accident, we'll help you get it filed for you. We have more team members. We have the best systems and processes, the best technology, and our team members are motivated and incentivized to move our clients' cases along as quickly as possible, but without sacrificing the amount of money we can get our clients. Because at the end of the day, we are not some settlement mill. We are not like some of these TV lawyers who just want to get you the first settlement offer and get you out the door so they can move on to the next. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back here inside the broadcast booth From Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University, Monsignor Martin semifinals here between the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers and the St. Francis Red Raiders. Right now, the Red Raiders on the high side 14-0. They will receive the ball to start the second half. Meanwhile, for Timon, they are trying to flip the script here. These two teams have met 5 times in the postseason dating back to 2005. St. Francis has won all 5 of those games, winning by an average of 23.8 points per game. In just general series history dating back to 2013, regular and postseason included, St. Francis leads the series 9-1.
Yeah, St. Francis has had a lot of success in the Monsignor Martin over the years. Jerry Smith at the helm. He just said 9-1 against Bishop Timon, but anything can happen, right? Tanner, we're in the postseason. We've seen a lot of exciting finishes the last couple of days over at Highmark Stadium on the Section 6 side. And here we are. These are the 4 teams in the Monsignor Martin tournament. The winner takes on either Canisius or St. Joe's next Saturday. And it's going to come down. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's going to come down to who wants it more. That's what it's going to come down to here in the last 2 quarters.
No doubt about it, and we mentioned this time in defense at halftime. They're going to be on the field to start things off here as the Red Raider offense will take the field to start things off in this second half. And you mentioned the success in the Monsignor Martin for St. Francis dating back to 2005, Jerry Smith has a record of 19-13 in the Monsignor Martin playoffs, including a 9-6 record in semifinal games. And as I mentioned, in the postseason against Timon specifically since 05, Jerry Smith has a record of 5-0. Meanwhile, taking a look at head coach Matt Weiser for the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers, he has a 2-2 record in the Monsignor Martin playoffs during his tenure. 0-1 in semifinal games. That loss coming last year to Canisius, 37-6. Overall, the Tigers have an 11-17 record in the Monsignor Martin playoffs since 2005, including 3-9 in semifinal games. They lost 7 straight from 2005 to 2011, all by double digits, but they have won 3 of their last 5 appearances since.
Matt Weiser, Bishop Timon, they had the big season 2 years ago, an 8-1 finish, and this year trying to get the pieces right. It's a very young group, and unfortunately, most of the veterans they had, they are out due to injury. The majority due to injury. Some unfortunately left the team, but Bishop Timon here trying to get momentum here, and Matt Weiser, he has learned a lot over the course of his 5 years. And on the other side, Jerry Smith, he's been here since 1988 as a head coach. And he said one aspect, he said all these years later, the game still comes down to blocking and tackling. And if you don't block well, you don't tackle well. Doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just not going to happen. And so many different schemes that he has watched and even adapted over the years. And it's interesting to hear that response, that it comes down to blocking and tackling.
And just to go back on a point you made just now there, Joe, talking about the youth of this Timon team. Yes, they are a young group, but they do have a lot of upcoming seniors, big impact players. You take a look at guys like Mike Williams. He had a tackle early on in this game. Julius Afrifa Irving, Javante Solomon, Christian Fulgham, Dominic Anzalone, Mason Conrad, Aaron Bobo. So, they have a lot of seniors that are going to be graduating this cycle. And I asked Coach Matt Weiser, how he feels about the state of the program going forward, because you look at when he took over in 2021, they did not have a lot of kids. They were a B team, but now, they built up the program. They have a full JV squad. So not to put the cart in front of the horse, obviously they still have 24 minutes to play in this game, but he said he's excited about the future with the way that they built up the program, and that was always the goal. Like, they wanted to go back to playing against the bigger teams, the A teams. But he said he doesn't just want to compete, he wants to win.
And even as a school itself, Bishop Timon ranked in the top 10 for Business First each of the last 3 years. And the Athletics. It's growing as a whole. Matt Weiser, also the athletic director at Bishop Timon.
Here we go. Onside kick to start the second half for Timon. It is recovered by Luke Fleischman, so the Red Raider offense is going to take the field here with a short field to open up the second half. And 2 drives, 2 red zone trips, 2 scores, both courtesies of Tyrone Clark. He had 4 total touchdowns the last meeting between these two teams. He's got 2 today.
Also, the 5th time this season that Clark has scored multiple touchdowns. He had a season high 3 touchdowns in Week 7 against Timon, and then 2 weeks ago against Canisius. 15 on the season.
First down and 10 from the Bishop Timon St. Jude 48. There's a quick strike. It is caught by Aiden Hopwood, and he's got a short gain there on first down. Aiden Hopwood, he is just a couple games removed, I believe 2 games removed from having his best game of the season.
Yeah, 5 catches, 116 yards, and a score against McDowell.
Right, yep. That's the game I was referring to on the season coming into this game. Just shy of 400 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. Here's a handoff to Clark Jr. He runs through 1 tackle and then bullies his way forward for a first down.
Man, Tyrone Clark is able to lower the shoulder, just able to find the space, and right there taking 1 man with him, able to get some good positive yardage and keep the stride going.
That looked like some running back teach tape there as far as I'm concerned. That's why you always keep those legs moving like Clark Jr. did just there. First down and 10. Buttles takes the snap. Here's a 3-step drop. Now he fires this one quick near side, caught on a little hitch pattern by Mason Anderson, and he gets inside the 30-yard line, spun down at around the 28.
Good catch from Mason Anderson. He's only a sophomore here in the receiving corps for St. Francis, and he has just done an incredible job. 9 touchdowns coming into today. That's a team high, and just showing that speed. And, you know, he's only listed here at 6'1", but he plays bigger.
Oh, no doubt about that. In the game that I did earlier in the season when they played Catholic Memorial, he made some outstanding catches in that game as Tyrone Clark gets the carry, and he has the first down. You mentioned 9 touchdowns on the season for Mason Anderson. 9 touchdowns in 9 games coming into this one. He had at least 1 touchdown in 7 straight games spanning from week 2 to their last game against Canisius. That stretch was broken there. He had 3 touchdowns against Erie High, all in the first half. So the sophomore transfer from Lakeshore has put together one heck of a season. Now they're going to look his way, and he makes the catch. Touchdown, Mason Anderson. 22-yard strike from Buttles to Anderson. There's touchdown number 10, makes it 20-0.
The streak continues. It's a one-on-one play to the outside, and Anderson right there had a couple of steps ahead of the defensive back for Timon, Amari Worthy, and make it your 10th touchdown catch, a big one here in a postseason game.
.957 left. They made quick work of that short field. And now they are going to send out the PAT unit. Looks like it's not Janice. Looks like they're going to send out a new kicker. The kick is on the way, and it is good. I believe that was Tavio Hoos on the kick.
Everything continuing to go towards St. Francis's way. That was the 50th touchdown of the season for Jerry Smith and his offensive unit. And really just continuing to find the opportunity. 16th touchdown pass of the season for Trent Buttles, and it's now a 3-score game, Tanner.
Indeed, and just to touch on this offense here for St. Francis, since the Week 3 loss against Catholic Memorial, they are averaging 42.2 points per game over the last 6 games. The 29 points that they scored last week against Canisius, that's the fewest points they've scored over the last 6 weeks, which there's a lot of teams out here that would take 29 points, but for them, their lowest output in the last 6 weeks, I mean, they have really put something special together with this offense. They can put points on the board in bunches, and they have been red hot here down the stretch, and that's continuing here today. So the Red Raiders have scored a touchdown now in each quarter so far. And Tavio Hoos is going to boot this one deep. Low kick, it's going to one-hop its way to Christian Fulgham. Now here goes Fulgham. He finds a seam along the near sideline, and he is escorted out of bounds at the 45-yard line. How about Tavio Hoos? We've mentioned his name a few times today. He had a fumble recovery in the first meeting between these two teams. He's also a member of the Red Raiders wrestling team and is actually a D1 commit to Lehigh University for wrestling.
So many commits from the football side going to wrestling. William Wortcutter off to Mercyhurst next year. There's so much going hand in hand between wrestling and football.
Here's Marquise Harris looking to throw on first down. Pump fake. Now he's going to roll to his right, and he is going to stop and throw and complete at the sticks. Looks like that should be enough for a first down. Nice job improvising there by Marquise Harris as he finds his man. It's like James Bugman there.
Good catch into St. Francis territory for the Tigers, able to get away from the pressure, did Harris, to keep the chains moving for Bishop Timon. Big first down play.
We've seen the improvisational ability from Trent Buttles in this game, but we've also seen it from Marquise Harris as well. Owens gets it on the little jet touch pass there. Now Delonte Owens gets up past the 40-yard line, which for a Timon team, we saw them shoot themselves in the foot a couple times in that first half with some penalties, getting behind the sticks on early downs. So anytime you can get a play like that on first down, Joe, where you can pick up 4 or 5 yards a pop, it gives you so many options. You know, opens up the playbook a ton for the next couple of plays.
And Delonte Owens, he has done just that all season here for the Tigers. Only 12 carries coming into today's action, but he gets the big one to set up 2nd and 1.
And he goes in motion once again into the backfield. And now Harris is going to keep this one himself. He has to throw. That one is incomplete as pressure got in there immediately. And the Red Raider defense wants a flag for intentional grounding. They're going to discuss, but doesn't look like they're going to throw the flag there, so it'll be 3rd down. You see a lot of pre-snap motion from this Tiger offense, and that's one thing that Coach Weiser said they do a lot of that to try and help Marquise Harris. You know, being a young quarterback and being thrown into the fire this year, they like to utilize a lot of pre-snap motion to try and help him get a beat on the coverage. Because obviously motion can be a great indicator of what coverage the defense is in. Now 3rd down, here is Harris. He sets a screen for Javante Solomon, shakes one tackle, and is taken down at about the 36, so he'll be, depending where they spot it, a yard or less short of the first down.
Good screen play that time from Bishop Timon, getting some help from his left tackle, number 64, to keep this pile moving. And this is a big play coming up, but the Tigers have had success on 4th down all day today. Now facing 4th and 2.
It's going to be 4th and about a yard and a half. Here's Harris in the shotgun. Handoff goes to Solomon. He was able to get away from Tavio Hoos and turn that one up the field. And this is going to be close.
It is a turnover on downs.
No measurement needed. I thought they might need to get the chain gang out there and have another look at that one, but they say no. It's a turnover on downs, and the Red Raider offense heads back out there with 7:36 left in the second half, or in the third quarter, I should say.
Bishop Timon was just trying to fight for that extra yard. Javante Solomon, and I believe that's the first time today, Terry, that Timon could not convert on 4th down, and now here comes St. Francis again with the football.
1st down and 10 from their own 35. Aiden Hopwood goes in motion across the formation. Here's the give to Tyrone Clark Jr. He's got a big hole up the middle, and now he turns on the afterburners. Here goes Tyrone Clark Jr., and he is going to take this one all the way for the touchdown. 75-yard scamper.
I mean, at this point, what else can we say about Tyrone Clark Jr. just finding the open gap and taking this deep from 75 yards? That's now the longest run of the season for him, and just takes it to the house, and the Red Raiders extend their lead once again.
That ties his season-long 75 yards for Clark. He also had a 75-yard touchdown run in the first meeting between these two teams. Now the PAT, it is up and it is good. It is Janis that time on the PAT. Tavio Hoos took the last one. But this time, Jacob Janis, the junior, boots it through to make it 28-0 here with 7:25 left in the third. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Explore your next idea. Blaze new trails. Imagine new ways to do things. What will you do next?
Welcome back here to Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University as Bishop Timon falls into a 28-0 hole. Here's Javante Solomon on the return. And they will have it at about the 27-yard line here to start things off. If you're just joining us, Tyrone Clark Jr. showing off the home run ability, just ripped off a 75-yard rushing touchdown to make it 28-0, as there is a flag down here after the return. Looks like it's going against the Red Raiders, so that'll give this Tiger offense a bit of a boost here as we start things off. On this possession, but the last one, Tyrone Clark Jr., 75 yards running behind the senior center, right up the middle, William Workcutter. I asked Jerry Smith about him pregame, and he said he's a beast, type of guy on both sides of the ball. They experimented with him a little bit at nose tackle last week against Canisius. He was a big part of helping to hold that run game down. He said they hope to continue to do that with him this postseason, as well as a couple other guys. As here's a direct snap. It goes over the hands of Fulgham and then into the waiting arms of Javante Solomon, and he manages to get back to the line of scrimmage there. So all in all, not how they drew it up, but nice job just breaking even on what could have been a disastrous play there for the offense.
Yeah, Solomon was in the right place at the right time, as that snap was a little high, and Solomon was right there trying to get back to that line of scrimmage, and what could have been a turnover turns into still Bishop Timon having the football.
Short loss. Here's a direct snap once again to Christian Fulgham. He's got Javante Solomon as a lead blocker, and he is taken down at the 49-yard line. So that'll make it about 3rd down and 4, and there is a man down for Bishop Timon. Laid out on his backside, so it can't quite tell who it is. And while they tend to him, Coach Weiser, as well as the training staff out on the field, we will step aside and try and figure out who that is back after this here on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Amari Worthy was the injured Tiger. He walked off the field under his own power, so that's good, and can only hope that he'll be okay moving forward. As it is third down, here's Christian Fulgham in the shotgun. He takes the direct snap and darts up the middle. Looks like he's going to be about a yard and a half short here of the line to gain, so I would imagine at this point, being down 28-0 in enemy territory, the offense will stay out on the field here, and indeed they will. And now Timon has yet to have a successful third down conversion in this game. They've been good on fourth down, although the last time they got stymied.
They're now 3 of 4 on fourth down?
Correct. And this a fourth down and short here. Again, Christian Fulgham is going to take the direct snap, and he has the first down. So make that 4 for 5 on fourth down. Fulgham, they've been going to him here as the Wildcat quarterback, and he moves the chains there for the Tigers. Fulgham entering this game on the season had 839 all-purpose yards, 9 total touchdowns. Coach Weiser said this guy, he's got great hands, can make plays after the catch. Here is Fulgham. He's going to pitch it now, and it goes through the hands of Javante Solomon, and he falls on it. That's going to be a big loss on first down. They're back in their own territory at their own 49-yard line, but just lucky to maintain possession there.
That's been twice now in this half. I believe the third or fourth time in the game where Bishop Timon able to get the football back on a wild play, and after getting a couple plays with positive yardage, now this puts them back on their own side of the field.
Mm-hmm. Second down and long from their own 48. Marquise Harris checks back into the game. Takes the shotgun snap, the play fake to Javante Solomon. Dances away from pressure, rolling right, throwing on the move. It is incomplete. A little too far out in front of the outstretched arm of Delonte Owens. So it brings up third down and long. Four and a half minutes left to go in the third quarter. Like 4 receivers, 1 back. Fulgham near side. This one snapped into the feet of Harris. He picks it up. Now he's going to roll to his left. Now it looks like he's going to tuck it and run. And Marquise Harris gain about 3 yards on the play, but still going to be well short of a first down here on third down. Now 0 for 8 on third down are the Tigers. And again, the situation kind of calls for it at this point. Don't really have much choice but to go for it here on fourth down.
Just over 4 minutes left of the third quarter as well. Time not on your side.
They go with a condensed formation here on fourth down. Harris in the shotgun, Solomon the back. Harris, the 3-step drop, and immediately he's forced to roll left away from pressure. It's intercepted. Trent Buttles. Is there anything he can't do? He gets the interception to put an end to that drive.
Well, Trent Buttles, he has done everything for St. Francis except selling the popcorn in the concession stand as he goes down the near sideline, and that is what he does. He has the size not only to be the quarterback, but also the top free safety for the Red Raiders this season, and he has done it all, and An unfortunate end for Bishop Timon on this drive as they were starting to get some movement, but St. Francis, that defense able to come up with another big play, the 9th interception, and Trent now with 3 picks on the year.
And for Marquise Harris, the first time these two teams played, he did not throw an interception. In fact, that was the only game this year that he has not thrown an interception. So he had done a great job taking care of the football in the first meeting between these two teams in the first half of this game, but just trying to make a play on 4th down, had to put that one up for grabs, and unfortunately found Trent Buttles there. And then right on cue, Buttles keeps it himself on 1st down for the Red Raiders and gets a short gain there. But certainly the interception, not Harris's fault. 4th down, got to make a play, put it up for grabs, and that was just the outcome of the play. Not much you can do about that. And call it an arm punt in those situations. 2nd down, here is the handoff. And up to midfield, still going, able to pick up a 1st down. So a nice carry there for the Red Raiders. Nick Williams got the call and showed off some tough running there, able to pick up a 1st down. And Williams remains the back here. Perhaps Coach Jerry Smith playing it conservative here with Tyrone Clark Jr., knowing what happened to Dominic Cook earlier this season, as there's a quick pitch and catch right there from Trent Buttles to Nico Pinelli, and he's going to pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, 2 big plays from St. Francis. There is so much depth on their team here. You get the run from Nick Williams, had a touchdown in Week 6 against Erie, and then Nico Pinelli, the senior from Lakeview, fresh set of downs, and Red Raiders still moving.
Buttles looking to throw, standing tall in the pocket, now fires to the near side, and stepping out of bounds there inadvertently. I think that was Pinelli once again with the reception.
So back-to-back catches here for Nico, and that's only his 4th and 5th catches of the season, so he's getting some nice work late in this game. One of the seniors, good to see Jerry Smith putting his seniors and getting the ball their way.
2nd and short, Buttles will throw in Pinelli's direction. Once again, it's incomplete. There's a flag down in the secondary. It looks like too many men on the field against the Tigers. And indeed, that is the case. They'll walk that one off against the Bishop Timon defense, and that gives the Red Raiders another 1st down. Not that they needed any help in that department. They have 14 1st downs today, 2 by penalty. Here goes Trent Buttles dancing his way into the end zone. Touchdown, St. Francis. 10-yard touchdown run from Trent Buttles. He's got 1 passing and now 1 rushing, and that makes it 34-0 here in the late stages of the 3rd quarter.
So now we have 5 drives, 5 red zone opportunities, and 5 scores here for St. Francis here today. Just continuing to put the football in the hands of their playmakers, and as you can see, now up by 5 scores.
And now on for the PAT. Looks like it is Jacob Janis, and he remains unblemished. That one is good, and it makes it 35-0 here. 2:45 left in the 3rd quarter. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back here to Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University. You've got game 1 of 2 here of the Monsignor Martin semifinals. This one between Bishop Timon and St. Francis. Right now it's been all Red Raiders leading 35-0. They just increased their lead with a Trent Buttles 10-yard rushing touchdown. Now here's a one-hopper to Javante Solomon, and on the run back he is taken down shy of the 30-yard line at about the 27. That's where we'll see this Tiger offense take over. Meanwhile, the Red Raiders offense, they've just been humming here in this third quarter. They have more points in this quarter than they scored the entirety of the first half.
21 points in this quarter alone. Tyrone Clark Jr. with 3 touchdown runs. Trent Buttles with the last score from 10 yards out on the ground. And Trent also had the 23-yard touchdown pass to Mason Anderson at the 9:50 mark of this third quarter. And you said it, Tara. St. Francis humming, clicking on all cylinders, whatever phrase you want to use, it's going in St. Francis's way.
Here goes Javante Solomon, and he spins his way to the outside before he's taken down at the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2.
Solomon is he has been reliable today. He's had a lot of big runs, been part of the Timon offense that has gone 4 of 6 on 4th down here, and still some time, but St. Francis able to limit those home run plays, we could say, for Bishop Timon this way.
Evan Greeno made the stop. He made a big stop at the end of the first half. Big goal line stop to keep Timon out of the end zone and off the scoreboard, as well as Christian Fulgham goes in motion. Here's a near side run for Javante Solomon, and he gets wrestled down at the 30-yard line. Looks like Larry Hardy in on the stop. No gain, 3rd down.
Larry Hardy had a big play to start off our day today as well for the St. Francis defense. There's just so many players on the defensive side of the ball. Samuel Skolsky has made some big plays over the year, and this has just been a cohesive unit on the defensive side. Another strong performance for the Red Raiders.
3rd down and 8. 4 receivers, trips to the far side of the field. Marquise Harris, short drop. Now he fires this one toward the far side of the field, and it is incomplete. Looking for Delonte Owens, but he is unable to reel that one in. It is 4th down, deep in their own territory, but looks like the offense staying out on the field here. It's Bishop Timon, St. Jude, still doing some soul searching here when it comes to 3rd downs. 0 for 9 on 3rd down. They started off the game 4 for 4 on 4th, but have since gone 0 for their last 2. And on that note, brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Time to make the switch to the 4th here in this Monsignor Martin semifinal. Bishop Timon and St. Francis here on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back here to Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University. 1 quarter left to play here in this Monsignor Martin semifinal matchup between the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers and the St. Francis Red Raiders. Red Raiders leading 35-0, and they're getting the ball back here at the top of the 4th quarter. And they will punt this one. Nice job just to get it away there. And there is a flag down, as this punt is going to roll all the way down to the 4-yard line. So good punt there, and then we'll have to check the flag as well.
This penalty's going against St. Francis, roughing the punter, as it was a good punt from Josh Galligan, but one of the defenders from St. Francis collided into him, and Kenny Harris, the referee, right there to make the call.
Josh Galligan, in addition to handling the kicking and punting duties for the football team, also a very talented soccer player. He led the team this past season, the Timon soccer team, with 22 goals, 10 assists. He was second in minutes played and was a member of a team that won the Monsignor Martin Division B championship with a 5-1 victory over Park. That was the first championship for the Tigers since 2014, and Galligan was named the MVP. He was also the Monsignor Martin B Player of the Year for 2025 and was named to the All-Catholic team as well as a soccer player. And he gets roughed there, so that'll be the 10th first down of the day for Bishop Timon. 3rd by way of penalty. Now here's the direct snap to Christian Fulgham, and he runs into a sea of red there. Taken down, looks like he might have got back to the original line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. As Harris checks back into the game. And he will take the snap and roll to his right. Under pressure, he finds a man wide open. It is Amari Worthy down the near sideline, and Amari Worthy steps out of bounds at around the 32-yard line. It's good to see him back out on the field. Saw him get shaken up earlier. I mentioned the first time these two teams played, he returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. He's also been an impact player on defense. There was a 3-game stretch where he had 3 interceptions earlier in the season against Bill Crothers, Canisius, and Eastridge. 3 picks in 3 games, so he's a playmaker for them on both sides of the ball. Here's the snap. They fake it to him. Now it's going to be a pitch to Javante Solomon, and he gets taken down after a short gain along that St. Francis sideline. Second down and 2 after the gain of 8. Harris in the shotgun. He's got Solomon to the right, and Harris takes the snap and rolls right, and he lofts this one. It's high and incomplete. Looking for Amari Worthy, and that one kind of got tipped up into the air, but luckily for the Tigers, that one falls harmlessly to the turf.
Good extension from Worthy, trying to make a play here. Season on the line, just making a good effort. And now 3rd and 8 coming up here for the Tigers. Big 3rd down coming up. We mentioned early on that the Tigers hadn't converted a 3rd down today. Big play coming up.
0 for 9 in that department. 2-back set. Hand off to Javante Solomon. A little unfriendly fire there. He kind of ran into Delonte Owens, who was trying to serve as a lead blocker, but ended up slowing up Solomon there, and it looks like he lost a yard, so they remain. Here on the field, it'll be 4th down. They still have yet to convert a 3rd down. It's now 0 for 10. And on 4th down in Red Raider territory, they will keep the offense on the field here. Don't have any choice at this juncture. About 6 minutes left in the 4th with the season on the line. Here is Harris. Drops back, fires this one. It's caught short of the sticks. And then good job by the Red Raider defense rallying to the football. Larafus Green was in there.
Noah
Noah
Violante also on the stop, and now Bishop Timon today 4 of 7 on 4th down as a timeout is called here. Got about 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go, and while we have a quick moment here, Tanner, shout out once again, a big 48-hour trip out at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. We finished it up last night. The Bennett Tigers taking down Jamestown in Class AA. Newfane in Class D. First win by a Niagara County team since North Tonawanda did it back in 2009. Chautauqua Lake, Gillespie Brockton in Class C. Ty Harper is first at the helm with the Eagles. In Class B, Lackawanna, a huge win over West Seneca East. And then in Class A, McKinley, their first ever in program history. Class A over Health Sciences. Congratulations to all 5 teams. They now advance to the Far West Regionals, which will be held this upcoming Friday and Saturday here in Buffalo at All High Stadium. So many people that put in a lot of hours behind the scenes of making those productions possible. We had 28 people from Western New York Athletics as a whole making those broadcasts possible on the NFHS network. We also had a lot of content on our social media pages at Western New York Athletics, which are now archived. You can go back and watch and check out the cool stuff that we did. So much on social media. The last year for Section 6 football at the current Highmark Stadium, home of the Buffalo Bills, and such a great time. So many familiar faces over the years with WNY Athletics and around Section 6 football over the last decade. Everyone was there, and it was just a great moment. It's the big moment, Tanner, that all the teams, when the schedule comes out, the first day of practice in August, that's the weekend that you circle, getting to the stadium. And 10 teams were able to make it. Whether they won or lost a championship game, it's definitely a moment that all the coaches and all the players and their families are going to remember for the rest of their lives.
Indeed. 3rd down here, upcoming for the Red Raiders. Trent Buttle's day is done. He had 1 passing touchdown today, 1 rushing touchdown. The 5th game of that kind of this season for Trent Buttles, where he's had at least 1 rushing and 1 passing touchdown. And now the quarterback, new hurler in the game, it is Bray Babbage, and right on cue, he completes for a 1st down. Andrew Lindstrom, the senior, makes the reception there. Lindstrom, also a member of the St. Francis basketball team. And Bray Babbage, he got into the game the last time I watched this St. Francis team play against Catholic Memorial in the 56-32 loss. Of course, his sister is Lainey Babbage, member of the Orchard Park Quakers softball team, the reigning Class AA state champions. As there's a give on 1st down, and sprawling up past the 50-yard line goes the ball carrier. But for Bray Babbage, again, his sister Lainey, and then their father is Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator Bobby Babbage.
A lot of sports running in the family for the Babbages. Lainey had a great run this past spring, and going into the couple weeks of June, Orchard Park winning another state title in softball, and now the younger brother Bray is now a quarterback.
And Bray is going to hand this one off, and Nick Williams got absolutely stuffed right there. Laying the lumber down for Bishop Timon was the senior linebacker, Wesley Miller.
And we mentioned Wesley's name earlier in the broadcast. He has had an incredible season, a team-high 42 tackles, averaging 5.3 tackles per game, also 1.5 sacks, and Also 1 interception, making the big hit here late in this game.
Now 3rd down and long here for the Red Raiders. Babbage takes to the air once again. That pass is caught, and nice run after catch there. Able to pick up a 1st down. Kenneth Litzinger makes the reception. Litzinger, maybe not the primary read in this passing offense, but he's had some production this year. Caught a touchdown in week 1. Also on the defensive side of the ball, had an interception against Cathedral Prep earlier in the year, and now he's got a chain-moving reception here in the Monsignor Martin semifinals. Here's Babbage, handoff, going far side, able to bounce this one out, and then able to escape Amari Worthy and pick up a 1st down there for St. Francis. Another nice run.
St. Francis once again keeping the pile moving here and getting another 1st down, trying to put the final pieces in the semifinal contest. 2 minutes to play.
We wind under 2 minutes now here as Babbage in the shotgun. Again, it's going to be a handoff, and this time a nice tackle for loss there. Saw the initial penetration from the defense and then was able to hold on for dear life until the rest of the team could rally to the football. They get the TFL here, so assuming everything holds true to form, which it should with 1:30 left here, Jerry Smith now moves to 20-13 in the Monsignor Martin playoffs since 2005, 10-6 in semifinal games, 6-0 against Timon specifically. And I have not mentioned it up until this point, but the last time these two teams played, it was a special one for head coach Jerry Smith, as here the handoff on 2nd down. They're able to get the lost yardage back from the 1st down play. But the first time these two teams played, Smith earned his 200th career win. He is the 2nd winningest coach in Monsignor Martin history, trailing only longtime Canisius head coach Johnny Barnes, who sits at 287. Those are the only 2 coaches in Monsignor Martin history to reach the 200-win milestone. Smith, he also reached his 100th career win against Bishop Timon in a rain-soaked 6-0 affair in 2006.
And Jerry Smith also among active coaches, trailing only Kurt Fisher from Falconer, 223. And then it's number 2, Jerry Smith, about to get his 203rd. And right behind him, one of the coaches we will see here at 4 o'clock today from the Canisius side, Craig Krasinski at 181.
That is correct. There's another reception and 1st down for Andrew Lindstrom. And with that, that's going to bring us to the end of this one. So all Red Raiders here in the Monsignor Martin semifinals. They defeat the Bishop Timon St. Jude Tigers 35-0.
Great win for St. Francis, now 9-1 on the season. They advance to the Monsignor Martin Championship game next Saturday. They now await to see who they will take on in that title game, Canisius or St. Joe's. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, 3 of them from Tyrone Clark Jr., and the Red Raiders keep their season going.
And we want to take a moment here to acknowledge the seniors for Bishop Timon St. Jude who have played their final game today. Mike Williams, Julius Afrifa Irving, Javante Solomon, Jaleel Davis, Christian Fulgham, who, as I mentioned earlier, coming into this game, had just shy of 850 all-purpose yards and 9 touchdowns on the season. The senior quarterback, Dominic Anzalone, who unfortunately had his season ended in the first game of the year, 2 games in a row. Miguel Rivera, Wes Miller, Mason Conrad, William Hardy, Aaron Bobo, and Caden Velasquez. And definitely for head coach Matt Weiser, he definitely has this program going in the right direction. His career record falls to 20-26 since taking the reins as head coach. Had some success from 2022 to 23. They won a combined 14-4, and they won the Division B championship each year, but since have gone a combined 4-14. But like I mentioned earlier, talking to him pregame, he's very excited about the future of this program. They have a full JV squad, have some good young talent. You look at the quarterback, Marquise Harris. He played pretty solid today, all things considered, and for the situation that he was thrown into, having to be the starter when it wasn't necessarily expected, he fought valiantly, and they have a lot to look forward to here in the future here for Timon. That's going to do it for us, for everybody in our broadcast crew, including our camera operator, Russ Battaglia, our on-site technical producer, Francis Beck, and my color man, Joe Kraus. This is Tanner Saunders saying thank you for watching this one, and stick around for the next one, why don't you? We got Canisius Joe's on tap coming up next to find out who the winner will be that will face St. Francis here in a little bit. But for now, we are signing off here on Western New York Athletics.
1 second from half court.
Jumping for joy with
First ever.
A 2-on-1. Oh,
Did he bring it in?